Hey y'all, it's Nancy for Whimsy Stamps. Thanks for joining me again today. As you can see, we're going to make 3 cards, but we're going to make 3 cards out of 1 background and 1 stamp set. So I started by just doing some simple ink blending with the Dottie 6x9 stencil. You can see that this stencil is well loved. I ink blended pink and yellow and blue, and I just shifted the stencil around. I flipped it over, I moved it around so that all my circles are overlapping, kind of like a bokeh. Not quite a bokeh, but kind of. And then I went in with some glitter paste as well. So 4 layers of the stencil. And then the stamp set that we're going to use is the Stomp Chomp Roar. I believe that's, if that's wrong, I'll definitely list it on the screen and I'll put it downstairs. All the products that I use today will be listed and linked downstairs as always. But this stamp set is absolutely adorable. You can see that I colored and fussy cut everything off screen, and I could not have had more fun. Guys, I never would have chosen a dinosaur set for myself, but I have loved playing with these dinosaurs. I can't get enough. So back to my process. You can see that I have die cut this piece of the background, and this was using the Slimline Scallop die. So this cuts out 3 pieces, essentially, 3 different parts. So it's the background, and then it's the frame for each cutout window, and then it's the actual window piece. So on this one you can see that I'm using the frame, and I've been auditioning and playing around and making sure I got all the right pieces and parts where I wanted them. And then I stamped the words. I did a little bit of ink blending because that white was a little stark. And then I placed all of my elements as well as some confetti from this Calls for Confetti. Now on this one, I know I've gotten a little behind, but this one I started out by using the Daisies embossing folder. And I just put a little bit of ink inside the folder itself, and then when I ran it through my die cutting machine, it impressed the ink onto the embossed paper, and it's such a cool technique. I don't do this often enough, but I love it. And then you can see that I use the excess circles or the oval frames from the first card, and I inset those into this one. And it looks a little off in the beginning. I think I pull it together, but you guys let me know downstairs. But so I put the very colorful frames inside the gray Dottie die cut background piece, and then I adhered them in place just with some clear tape on the back. No one's going to see. And so here for the sentiment, this is the Roarsome word and shadow die. I just used that Dottie stencil again, just with some simple blue ink blending, and then I die cut it out, and then I used my ink blending brush to just kind of give the bottom of each of the letters just a little bit more dimension. So I used the negative space on the die cut. And now I have adhered the entire card panel down. I've lifted it up on some double-sided foam tape, but I also use that wiggle room because, guys, I need that extra time. And then you can see that I inset the colorful frames, not the frames, but the background, the oval background, down inside just to give it a little bit more dimension. And then, of course, I adhered my little dino down there on the bottom right, and the Roarsome there in the middle. And here I'm bringing in some more confetti from this Calls for Confetti. This is one of the exclusives for Whimsy Stamps. And I'm hesitating because, again, I can't remember the name, and sadly I don't have it in front of me, but I will put it on the screen, and I'll also put it downstairs. So here's where I'm looking at it, and I feel like, yeah, it's cute, but it just looks disconnected. So the blue from those confetti really just made that point stand out in my head. So I decided that I was going to take a blue fine liner, and I did just a dotted line around the card panel, or on the card panel around on the card base. Does that make sense? So the actual ink is on the base, but it goes around the panel. And then I did the scalloped edges along each of the little frames as well, and around the words. And I feel like that blue kind of married everything together. Now you can use any color from your color palette if you decide to do something similar. You don't have to use blue, obviously. That's just the color that I chose because those were the confetti that I had. All right, so for this third and final card, I am using the excess panel that I had. It was about a 3.5 inch panel that was left over from my ink blending. And so I just cut the panel into strips. I ended up not using all the strips, so I could probably have made yet another card. But I adhered them down on an angle, just using some liquid glue. And then here I am putting this sentiment down. It is just on glue, or just adhered down with glue, no foam tape or anything like that. And I had the words overlap the stripes, the strips, just to marry it all together. And then you can see that I did the same with the dino, because he interrupts both the white space as well as the stripes, the colorful stripes. And then again, I finished up with some more confetti from This Calls for Confetti, and I think this one is my favorite. And I am not a clean and simple girl, but I love this card. And this one is super cute as well. It's very different, right? Because I don't know, it just still, maybe it even feels a little disconnected still to me. You guys let me know what you think. I do like it, and I like the way that I married everything together, but it just still feels like it's missing something. And then, of course, this is our first card with 3 of the little cutie dino eggs and the Roar, Stomp, Chomp. I love it. I've had so much fun, guys. So let me know downstairs, do you have a favorite? What are your thoughts on this kind of process? 3 cards out of 1 background and 1 stamp set. I would love to meet you downstairs. And of course, if you are not a subscriber to Whimsy Stamps channel, we'd love it if you would hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss any fun new content and inspiration that we post. And I would also invite you to join us over on the Whimsy Stamps Inspiration Facebook page, as well as Instagram and Pinterest. And all of this is linked and listed downstairs. And until next time, guys, this is Nancy for Whimsy Stamps, and I'm out.